just to be sure you're well and truly finished after the weekend. No, the dog's not going to be sick on me today. Wasn't the best start to the day, was it? Right, hands down by your thighs. Tall as possible, pulling in the tummy, tucking under the bottom so you feel nice and grounded through your heels. And then when you're ready, just some shoulder circles first. Nice big lift of the arms and pulling the elbows and the shoulder blades right down into the rib cage. Breathing in as you lift and then breathing out to pull down. A couple more circles here and then stopping the arms in line with your shoulders, taking a big step forward and pushing back. Alternating legs. So when you step forward, a little bend in the front knee so you don't lock out that front leg. And when you step back, getting the feet right back underneath the hips. Want to feel the shoulder blades squeezing together and the chest nicely opening. Now don't lift the hands too high. Keep them kind of level with the mid-chest so it stops the shoulders lifting and it brings a better stretch into the chest and into the shoulders. Once more on each leg, she's making me nervous. Last one here. Out to the side neck. So small step, I'm pulling back into centre or taking a little bit wider into a side lunge. So I want to keep the left leg straight as you step across, keeping the left foot pressed firmly down to the floor, and using that left leg to pull yourself back in without a ball underneath your foot. What's got into you? Breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Still getting that little squeeze into the shoulder blades. And once more, stepping across and staying across. Pushing the hips this time over to the left. Little tip to the right and pulling your left elbow up towards the ceiling. As you tip to the side, try and keep as much length into the spine as possible. Breathing out, ear in line with your shoulder as you tip. Maybe let that right arm lift a little higher. And your last two here. And then staying in centre. From here, just let your right foot turn out to the side, knee over your heel. And then into the waist on the right hand side. So get the feeling you're really starting to lift your ribs up away from your hips. Breathing out through the mouth with the tip. And let your front knee bend so it stacks just over the heel. And we keep pressing down for the edge of the right foot. Sorry about the dog this morning, I don't know what's got into her. That might not be my Easter egg. And your last one. And then stepping back into centre. Out to the left when you're ready. So a small step, if you prefer. I'll get into a nice deep side lunge. Just pushing the hips back behind the heels. And again, as you hinge forward from the hips, keep the chest nice and lifted. Keep anchoring down to the edge of your right foot. And then really using that right leg to pull yourself back in to centre. Nice and big with the arms, so we're still opening the chest and still engaging our back muscles. Once more across, then step across and stay across. Turn your left foot slightly out, straight into the side bends, lifting the elbow gently up towards the ceiling. And as much as you can, slide your hip up to the left, right, and give it a little lift up towards the ceiling. And then to deepen that stretch, just simply reach the arm a little further and push the hip a little further in the opposite direction. So keeping the ears nicely in line with the shoulders. As you tip to the side, I like this stretch. One more. And then holding. Turning your left foot out. So left foot first to the side, knee over your heel. Nice big reach over the head. And then straighten the front leg. So you're bending the knee, lifting the ribs. Breathing out with the tip and a breath in to release. Your right hand sliding down the thigh towards the outside of the knee. Keeping your eye gaze forward as you tip to the side, so it keeps the neck again in line with the shoulders. And really picking those ribs up away from the hips. And your last two. Coming into your last one and coming in to centre. Bring the feet in a little bit narrower, just a little bit wider in the hips. One squat, one tip to each side. So squat, tip to your right, squat, tip to your left. So a little leg lift, pushing out to the side, or again if you prefer, just a little tap. Let your body slightly tilt to the side. Sometimes we aim to keep our shoulders above our hips. And this one you're allowed to tilt. Full squeeze into the shoulder blades. Breathing in as you sit into the squat, breathing out with the lift. A little deeper with your squat, and then a little wider with your squat. So keep the feet a little wider as you come down. So there's a little bit more effort to push from one side over to the other. Using the arms helps find a little bit of balance, a little bit of control. And 2 more each side. Just warming up the outer thighs as well as the glutes, as well as your thighs and your hamstrings. Last one, and step in. Warm up. Alternating lunges, right leg then left. Lifting both arms, and let's take a twist, and step in. Left leg, right arm. Don't know my arms from my legs. Or is it my left from my rights? Or is it just a bit of both? So again, bend the back knee lots. Really sink into the back knee. And as you bend into the back knee, still trying to keep the shoulders above the hips. And the front knee just nicely stacked over your front heel. I'm going a little bit quicker today than normal. Feel free to slow down if you want to. Because I made Rocco lots of buns and I've just finished eating them this morning. So I just think I'm all sugared up. And 2 more on each side. Trying to turn the trunk of the body a little bit more if you can. Again, as you add that twist, try and keep the legs nice and still. Last one here, and I'll finish off standing with a stretch. Take your right foot forward, long stride, back heels to the floor, and just take that little hip hinge. Breathing out as you tip forward, and breathing in with the lift. When you tip forward, try not to look forwards. Try and get the chin in, so your eye gaze comes about 2 or 3 foot in front of your toes. Keep the length into the spine. And now the muscles are a little bit warmer, you might stretch a little bit more. So think about lifting your bottom slightly upwards towards the ceiling. Gently squeezing down the front of your right thigh the whole time. And your last one here. Changing legs when you're ready. So left foot comes forward, pushing both heels down, straighten the left leg and square the hips. Keep a little squeeze in between the shoulder blades as you tip forward. That's going to help us keep our spine in neutral. So we can focus more on lifting the bottom as we tip forward. Just like you're pulling your left buttock away from your left heel. And again, trying to breathe out as you hinge forward, which is going to allow those nice warm muscles to relax and lengthen a little bit more. And twice more. I think we're ready. Let's have both weights this morning. So in your own time, grabbing both weights. Because we're in business today. Feet just underneath your hips. Little roll back with both shoulders. Alternating into your lunges. Right leg back, left arm curls. We're just going to add a simple press and step in. So just alternating from one side to the other. When you have the press, don't press the weight behind the head. Try and keep it just in front of your face, so it's less tempting then to arch into the spine. Sometimes it goes further back, you might feel the back wants to arch. So brace your core, add in the press. Keep the eye gaze level and forwards. So you're trying to almost keep your eye gaze fixed on the same spot as you step back. A little nod in with the chin. Get a nice little line through the neck and the spine the whole time. And if it feels okay and you feel balanced, you can try and step a little further back. So if you have to push more out of your front heel to get yourself back in. Now when you lower the weight, don't let it swing past your hip. Stop it right by the thigh. One more on each leg. Core brace on the press. Your last one here. Stepping back with just your right leg. Keep the weights down. We're going to come into a lunge with a double bicep curl and we tip forward to a fly. The weights come to your chest and as you inch forward, squeeze into the shoulder blades. Each time aiming to go right into the lunge. It's the washing machine. I hope. So again, in breath, Squeeze shoulder blades, the arms come out to a wide V. Your chin still nodded in as you hinge forward. And then really squeeze into the shoulder blades as you take the arms back. 2 more. Out breath with the lift. You're going to stay at the top this time. Now stay forward, just curl the hands and tap the foot and lift. So weights to shoulders, arms out. So you're not lowering into the lunge, you're just tapping the back foot. Still working with the bicep curl to the shoulders, and out to that wide V. For 3, for 2, and for your last one. And weights down, step in. Should we change sides? When you're ready, I'll lunge your curls. So stepping back, double curl, tip forwards. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I think she's determined to trip me up today. She had a ball under my foot. Press through the heel as you tip forwards. And again, take that slow, strong out breath as you start to hinge forward. So it helps lock in your core. And almost feel like your shoulder blades are crushing together as you hinge forwards. Shoulders above hips here. Don't forget to get nice and deep into that lunge. Last one, coming forwards. Holding at the front. So you're going to tap the toe. So leg stays out straight. Lift, curl, lift, curl. So you're not putting any weight onto that back foot. Notice how that front knee just stays slightly bent. Still squeezing the shoulder blades. Also starting to work into the triceps as you extend the arms behind. 3, 2, and your last one. And step in. Bring the weights down. Right, just a few side bends. Anchor your heels. Roll the shoulders back. And just take a little bend from side to side. Just to warm back up the waist. Now as you tick from side to side, try and keep the weight directly in line with the outside of the knee. So you're not letting the weight come forward, because if the weight comes forward, you're going to find your shoulders come forward. So a little squeeze into the shoulder blades the whole time. Breathe in to release. Breathing out on the way up. Trying to get the weight a little lower whenever you feel ready. Just to stretch the waist more. At the same time, we keep our weight anchored evenly between both heels, so there's no sway of the hips from side to side. That way we just keep it all into the waist as we move. Once more each way, and then holding in centre. Single rows, so shoulders back, push the hips back, pull your elbows in, and then drive the hips forward. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Hips behind heels. And again, each time you pull the elbows into the ribs, nice strong squeeze into the shoulder blades. And as we tip forward, we're still very focused on the alignment of the spine, with the chin nodded in. Feel the weight in the heels and push out the heels to rise. And as you push out the heels, squeeze the bottom to get the hips underneath of the shoulders. And 4 more here. So still very focused on our core, keeping the back in neutral the whole time. For 2, and once more. Upright rows, elbows wide, back narrow at the centre, and just pushing the elbows out to the side of the room rather than trying to pull them up to the ceiling. That way you can really focus on keeping the shoulders themselves down and just moving from the shoulder joint. So we've got that stability through our shoulder girdle, and we just focus the work then into the top of the shoulders. Oh, a bit of focus coming down to the shoulders. 3 to go. Out breath with the lift, into release. Out through the mouth, in through the nose, holding in centre. Bring your elbows to 90 degrees. Roll the shoulders down, both elbows out wide, and back to the ribs. So again, no higher than the shoulders. Now we're going to add a little combo here. A side raise and a mac raise. So go with a one side raise, and then to a mac raise where you turn to your right, and then a side raise in the centre, and then turn to your left. Again, still keeping the weight anchored into your heels, squeezing the bottom. So when you turn through the upper body, your hips stay nice and square to the front. It's a pull back with your right, and then a pull back with your left. Turn again with the chest, still keeping the weight anchored in both heels. Once more to your left, and that should do. Nice lift the shoulders, release the hands down, give them a little roll. Tricep kickbacks. So from here, just taking a split stance, pull your elbows up, alternate one arm and then the other. Now when the hand comes in, don't let it come up to the shoulder. I want you to stop your weight right by your hip. And then again, lifting the chest, tucking the tailbone, and just trying to get the arms as straight as you can without your chest dropping down to the floor. So a nice strong squeeze between the shoulder blades the whole time. Breathing out on each extension. Trying to get the arms straight as possible so you're really squeezing into the back of the upper arm. 4 more on each side. Tailbone gently tucked, softly drawing down towards that back heel. And your last one here. And then release. Release the shoulders. Right, let's come wide. Turning both feet out to a slight diagonal. You're going to reach to your right knee and then reach to your left knee. So your weight shifts from one side, up in the centre, and then over to the other side. And if it feels okay, you might want to try and reach down towards the ground. Now try not to come up in the middle, just move from one side to the other. Reaching towards the inside of the knee, and if you need to, just come up and over. Or again, for more intensity, stay low, keep your core braced, push your bum back. As one knee bends, the opposite leg straightens. Pulling back with the shoulder blades as you pull the elbow back by the ribs. 2 more each way. Good for the inner thighs. Once more. And then holding in centre. Right, whew, we can breathe a little. Come back to the squats, alternating sides with the leg lift and the press this time. So squat, rise and extend. Back to your squat, right arm, right leg, lift, tip and back to the centre. So weight to the shoulder and then turn your palm to the front, bracing your core. And again, you can tip a little further if it feels okay, but don't go quick, go slow. So you're really starting to find the balance as you tip. Breathe out with the tip, breathe into your squat. Now we're going to add in 3 leg lifts. So we're going to hold at the top, lower the leg for 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Over to your left, hold, just lower the leg, 3, 2, come back down into your squat, and again, core braces, just moving from the hip, keep a little bend in your right knee. They don't have to count to 3 then, was it 4? Lower for 3, lift, 2, lift, hold at the top, come back into your squat. Now a nice straight leg as it lifts. Nice strong core to hold the trunk of the body still. So just moving from that hip joint each time. Last set on each side. 3, tap, 2, once more. Last set on the right. Feel the hips, feel your core. And then hold. Stay in centre. Right. Weight back down by the front of your thighs, side of your thighs, sorry. You're going to take the right leg back, 1 hinge or 1 double arm row. So we're going to tip, pull and tap. Now if you feel you need a little less, you can come back to the one we did earlier, just with that row with both feet on the heels. Both heels on the floor even. So if you're working with the tip, straight right leg as it lifts. Strong core as you hinge forward. And then pull back into the shoulder blades. Elbows stay nice and close to the ribs, and there's no rush. I know I seem to be on fast mode this morning, but you take it as slow as you need to focus on keeping it controlled. Now don't let the elbows push out to the side of the room. Keep them really close to your ribs, so we can really focus on the squeeze between the shoulder blades. 2 here. Your last one. Hold at top. Now just tap your back foot with a bicep curl and come to centre. So you're trying to touch the tip of your big toe onto the floor, and we do that by almost going into a single leg squat. Pushing back into the hips, pushing out your left heel. Breathing in, out, come forwards. Weight just turn towards the shoulders. Push out the front heel, there's no rush. Now don't completely lock out your left leg when you rise, keep it slightly soft. So the hips always stay just slightly back behind the heel. 2 more on this leg. 1 to go. And push up. Freddie, I think you might be right. I think I might be finishing you off this week and not finishing the week off. When you're ready, changing legs. So I'm going to come back to that left leg. So the right leg does the work. Shoulder set. 1 hinge, 1 row, and a tap of the toe. Almost rhymed. Again, as you hinge forward, keep the chin nodded in, so you don't let the head drop below your shoulders, because that's going to naturally round the upper back. You're trying to keep that little squeeze into the upper back, into the shoulder blades, so that when you hinge forward, it's a nice strong set position all the way through. Now give your left thigh a squeeze. You see how that leg stays straight as it taps and as it lifts. Feeling that extra squeeze into the shoulder blades as you pull the elbows in. 1 more. Stay here. Bend your front knee and either tap or just hover your back foot. So you're trying not to put any weight onto the back foot. You're seeing how far you can reach your foot back without putting the weight down onto the toes. And to get the foot back, you've got to pull your hips back. To keep your balance, you've got to keep your core nice and tight. Breathing in, out to push forwards. Still holding that squeeze into the shoulder blades. 2 here. Your last one. And then step in. Right, I think the bottom's kind of taken care of. Let's come down into box position. Just working with 1 weight. We're going to get back into the obliques, into our waist, so we're going to have a little twist. Option to use the weight or without the weight. So when you're ready in your box position, you just want your hands just beneath your shoulders, weight in your right hand, square the shoulders to the floor, and all you do from here is just thread the weight under, but don't drop towards the ground. So when the arm reaches under, you're turning your eye gaze, your chest, and then opening to the front. Now we gently keep the crown of the head pushed forwards. We're trying to get the back as long and as straight as we can as we rotate. Now if you want to add a little bit more work into your obliques, when you open the arm, extend your left foot back to a tap. Just tapping the toe, not putting any weight onto that foot. Breathing out nice and strong as you open the arm. 4 here. Breathe out through the mouth. Press into your supporting hand. Your last one. And hold. Just sit back for a second. You can bring your elbows down, give your wrists a release. And you can try it on the other side. When you're ready, weight forwards, knees hip distance. So again, keep the shoulders square and then turn your shoulder to the back. But try not to let them sink towards the floor. So try to keep your shoulders level with your hips as you rotate. That way we're going to feel more work in our obliques. It's stabilising the space between the hips and the ribs. And then you can start to add in the leg. Just sliding back to a tap. Sliding back in slowly. There's no rush. It's all about keeping that length and alignment with the spine. And try not to hit the wall. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Strong out breath with the lift. That's where you really start to feel your core. 2 to go. The very last one. Put the weight down, take a sit back, stretch out the arms, press down to the fingers. Almost try and pull yourself forward with your fingertips. And you'll feel a deeper stretch around your shoulders. I like that stretch. Right, we're going to come back to triceps next. So when you're ready, we're going to come into a seated position. Not going to use the weight just yet. Seated position, hands underneath your shoulders with your fingertips pointing to your toes. Now what we want to do is bend the elbows and keep the back straight. Sometimes we'll let the shoulders drop. So push your hands into the floor first. Feel how your ribs are lifted off your hips. And then lean back, bending your elbows and still keeping the chest lifted. Push the hands into the floor to bring yourself forward. So see how far you can comfortably lean back, pause and just push up out the heels of your hands. Using the out breath as you push yourself up, the in breath as you ease back. And again, chest nice and high, and squeeze the elbows gently towards each other. So these are the muscles that we need to use sometimes when getting up off the floor and things, even pulling ourselves out of the back and things like that. It's quite an important muscle to keep strengthened. And you might think one day that you've got really strong triceps. You just might not realise it yet. Breathing in, push the floor away. And again, drive the hands into the ground. 2 to go. Little breath, strong breath. One last time. Out breath. And release. Release your triceps. So good for shoulder stability as well as strengthening the back of the arms. And so is our next one. Come down with both weights when you're ready. So whenever we're working standing or from the ground, we want to think about the alignment between the ears, the hips and the shoulders. So we want the shoulders away from the ears. Feet fairly close, we're going to add a hip bridge once we've done a few of the triceps. And if your elbows point to the side of the room, pull them in so it's like we're closing your armpits and you want to keep the arms there as we alternate a tricep press. Now one lowers, one lifts, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Notice both shoulders stay nice and evenly pressed down into the ground. So we're where the shoulders aren't rocking from side to side. So just go with 2 more here on each side. Now we're going to do the same with a hip bridge and foot pedals if you want to. So top of your hip bridge, keep the hands still and just pedal your feet. One heel lifts, then the other. And again, as you move the feet, try not to let the hips drop from side to side. Once you've done 4 on each side, place both heels down, come down with the hips, arms and feet together. So top of your hip bridge, right arm lowers, left heel lifts, alternate the arms and alternate the feet. Just doing 4 on each side, keeping both shoulders anchored, chin slightly nodded in. And once you've done your 4, both heels down, both arms up, and lower the hips. So again, out breath on the way up, chin in, right arm, left heel, and alternate slowly. So we're working hard through our midsection to keep the spine in neutral, to keep the hips up nice and high. Once you've done 4 on each side, both heels down, lower the hips. And again, tilt and roll. Chin nodded in, right arm, left heel. Just pedaling the feet, so you're rolling onto the ball of the foot, trying to keep the knees in line with the middle of the foot, so they're not rolling out to the side. And then again, once you've done your 4, both heels down and lower the hips. One last time. Once you're here, start to pedal the feet. Nice and long through the back of the neck, so that chin stays nodded in. Trying to really feel the back of the arms now. And your last one on each side. Both heels down, bring the weights down this time. reset the shoulders. We're going to come to an A press. We're going to take the feet a little further forward, and all we're going to do from here is start the elbows wide, in line with the ribs. You're going to push the weights together and then pull the chest open. Pushing and pulling. So it's like you're drawing a capital A with your hands. Wide at the bottom, narrow at the top. As you push the weights up, press the shoulders down into the floor. So you're not letting the shoulders lift off the ground. That's your base for your push. Right, at the top, hold. I'm going to go to flies, keeping the elbows soft, opening both arms and closing. Breathing in as you open. Now as you open the weight, try not to let the rib cage flare. So if you just softly draw the front of the ribs down and try and keep that feeling of holding the ribs down slightly towards the hips as the arms open. Breathing to open from the shoulders. Breathing out, keeping the shoulders anchored as the arms squeeze back in. Once more here. Then we're going to alternate between both moves. So an A press wide and then a double arm fly. So we open, we press in, and then we open the arms wide. So the deep bend in the elbows here. And again, when you do that A press, you're pushing your elbows away from your body. And when you do the fly, you're taking the hands nice and wide, but still keeping that softness in the elbows. Now big focus on the shoulder blades here. Keep them pressing down to the ground and slightly holding towards each other. Once more each way. And then hold at the base. Put the weights down for a second. Just take your arms back overhead just to release your shoulders. Turn your palms away from your head and push the palms away. So again, it's just releasing the upper back and the shoulders. Right, now you've got the moves. We're going to add back in that hip bridge. So grab your weights again. Can't lie down. Elbows wide, out by the ribs. Heels close this time. So with the hip bridge, we're going to come up, double heel raise with your fly, and then lower the bottom as you take the arms wide. So same movement. A press to the top. Lift both heels as you open to the fly. Heels down and elbows back wide. So we're up, out, in, down. Squeeze the bottom. Try and lift both heels. And if you find it difficult lifting both heels at the top of your hip bridge, just maybe lift one heel, then the other heel. Big squeeze into the chest each time you push it with the arms. Big squeeze the bottom each time you lift the hips. And if you're lifting the heels, you're trying to make sure the hips don't sink as the heels lift. So again, a strong squeeze through the bottom. 2 to go. Up, out, in, release. Last one. And relax at the base. Take one weight. Right, give your arms a little release first. Right, so with the one weight, arms up, chin in. We're going to come to a little crunch. Bring the weight to the outside of the hip, back over the head for a pullover, and then outside the opposite hip. Now, if for any reason you struggle to lift the neck, you can keep the head down and still feel that little oblique twist as the arms come to the outside of the hip. You're making sure that when the weight comes out to the outside of the hip, you're not moving your knees out the way. So you're trying to keep the knees and the hips still. We're trying to make sure we're nodding the chin as we reach back. Breathing out through the mouth. Option to add in a knee lift. So you can lift the knee just above the hip as you bring the weight over. And again, if you're keeping the head rested, that's fine. Just your knee lift. And as you bring the foot down, imagine you're placing it on the eggshell. So you're not pushing through one foot as you lift the other foot. Keeping the arms nice and straight as you come across. And letting your eye gaze follow your hands. Breathe out. Slow breath in to release. Strong breath out with a lift. Once more on each side. And that should just about do your obliques. From there, bring the weight down and have a roll onto your side. So we're going to still work with the obliques. We're going to have both legs out straight, with or without the weight. So if you prefer, hand on the floor, keeping that top hip away from the ribs, so we're using here to stabilise. If you're okay with the weight, shoulder away from your ear. You're going to lift both legs, sliding the elbow down towards the ribs or down towards the back of the rib cage. As the elbow comes to the back of the ribs, you might notice you want to roll backwards. So that's what we're going to use here more. Raise your core. Pull the elbow down as the leg comes up. Legs together, feet together, and hips together. Breathing out, keeping those hips stacked so they're not rolling back. Try and get the elbow to slide just behind your rib cage if you can. But just be aware you're not pushing the rib cage at the front forwards. Breathe out as you press the arm up. Breathe in as it lowers, and the push. 2 more to the top. Once more, hold at the top. Lift your top leg. Knee comes forward with a tricep extension and leg out straight. So weight to ear and knee just forward of your hip. Trying to almost get the shin parallel to the front of the room. And again, if it's too much with the arms and the arms have had enough, you can just rest the hand down and work with just the leg. So we're going to move slow to make sure you keep the trunk of the body still. Weight towards the earlobe. Shoulders still away from the ear. Breathing in through the nose. Out on the lift. 2 more on that extension. And your last one. And you can place the weight down. Not done with the leg yet though. I'm just going to do some nice simple arches. Hip away from rib. Arch your leg as far forward as you can. And pull back. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out. So all the movement from the hip, but yet lots of stability from the upper body. Now if you are using your hand to help you stabilise, just make sure that shoulder doesn't come forward. So if the hand's on the floor, roll the shoulder back, kind of lock it down to the rib cage. That'll give you a little bit more stability to the upper body, and then maybe you can take that leg a little bit further. You can always try and roll the toes down to the floor to bring a little bit more work into the hamstrings and the glutes. Big breath in to reach, strong out breath to pull back. Or here. A little further. And again, try and keep it a straight leg all the way through. Last one. I think that hip's done. So try the other side. When you're ready, we're going to come into that double leg lift with the shoulder press and then the knee drop with the tricep press. So you won't want to pick anything up this afternoon, you want to just sit and relax. Arms will be that tired. So again, hand on the floor or weight above your shoulder. Make sure the shoulder's not moving up to the ear because that's the upper traps trying to stabilise. So give your ear space from your shoulder. Legs stay together. Breathe in, breathe out to push up the weight. Breathe in as you lower the weight and breathe out with the lift. And again, if you feel like you're rocking backwards and forwards, just make the movement a little smaller. Maybe just come part of the way down and then press up. So it's just changing your centre of balance and hopefully your core's responding. So you keep your balance. As the elbow comes towards the rib or the back of the bottom rib, that's where you can just feel your chest slightly opening. Good for stretching the front of the chest. And the more we stretch into the front of the chest, the better the upper back muscles can work. Sometimes when these chest muscles are tight, they pull our shoulders out of alignment. Now again, think about the legs, keep the feet, the thighs, the knees together. Twice more. And your last one. Arm stays up. Lift your top leg, knee drops forward with your tricep press and extend. Breathing in to bring the knee forward. Now when you bring the knee forward, don't let the foot go back to the bottom. Let the whole weight of the leg come forward. So you're trying to get your shin parallel to the front of the room. Just makes it a little bit harder. Your core will have to work harder to stabilise the trunk of your body as you bring that knee forwards. Shoulders still away from the ear. So again, still working on that shoulder stability and the triceps at the same time. 3, 2, and your last one. And rest. I've pressed the button again. There it is. There it is, sorry, I pressed the button on my ear. I think I put too much effort into stabilising and it turned off the mic. Right, your leg arches. Head rested. Keep away from the button in my ear. And a nice big arch. So again, if you're using the shoulder a little to stabilise, which is fine on this one, really roll back and down with the shoulder. As you bring the leg forward, try and keep it nice and straight. And that's going to help to bring a little bit of stretch into the leg. You can even try turning your toes down towards the floor as the leg comes forward. So you've got more squeeze into the bottom as the leg comes back. Or just simply keep it small. So again, just moving from the hip. If you're bringing it further forward, keep a little squeeze down the front of the thigh. So the leg stays strong and straight the whole way through. Out breath to pull back. Maybe a little bit further forwards. Maybe 2 more. And your last one. And rest. Come face down onto the floor. Stretch out your quads. Bring your left hand forward. You can take your right hand back towards the foot and just gently bring the heel in to release your quads. And breathe. Draw your tailbone softly down towards the heels. And I promise not to have more buns before the next class. I won't be as sugared up. That'll be a bit easier. Change legs when you're ready. So right hand comes forward, left hand towards the foot, either the back of the trainers, so your trousers, or just taking your hand across the front of your shoelaces, pulling the heel into the bottom, but then pulling the bottom down towards the heel at the same time. That's going to help to bring a little bit more release and stretch down the front of your thigh, or maybe right into the hips. Release your foot. Bring in your hands. If you've got anything left in your arms, squeeze the elbows in and give yourself one big push back up. And you can pull straight back towards the heels for a counter stretch. Stretching the fingers forwards, pressing the fingertips down. And then when you're ready, easing back in to the centre. Knees underneath the hips. Take a couple of cat stretches. Just let your spine roll backwards and forwards, tucking in the chin, and then lifting up your eye gaze, sucking up the belly to the spine, and letting your belly sink towards the floor. And once more. Staying in the centre, keeping the toes tucked, nice strong push back, walking the hands or the feet in, so your hands come just underneath your shoulders, hands in front of your feet. Knees soft, let the head relax, let it feel heavy. Feel how that helps to lengthen and release the neck. And then as you breathe out, let it feel heavy again, and feel how it helps to release your spine. In your own time, take a roll on back up. Easing back up through each vertebrae, keeping the chin tucked in as you roll up. Nice way to finish the week. Roll the shoulders back above the hips. And take some arm circles, just open the chest, pulling the elbows gently down towards the ribs. One more circle, one shoulder shrug, and have a lovely, lovely weekend, and one lug shake. Well done, ladies and gents. Have a restful weekend after that.